Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Live at 8:30-ish, as usual. Good evening, Team Kate Brindle. That must mean Jules is literally sat by her computer ready to start. Sorry, running a little bit late, as usual. We're never quite on time, but that's because we do so many feeds, it's quite unlikely that I'm going to hit the nail on the head every single time I make it. But anyway, here we are. SPF is here. SPF is in the house. Hello. And Oscar's here too. Oscar's here. Oscar and his Willie, ready to talk to us all about, hello everybody, welcome. All sorts of interesting things that we can talk about this evening. So I've got some questions in advance, actually not too many, actually. So the good news is, hang on one second, that sounds like one of my children, hello. Oh no, it's not, we're okay, hang on. Oh no. That's okay, sorry, I thought my children were sneaking in. The reason I'm a little bit late was I was putting them to bed. It's actually Fidel who's on the bed, making a bit of a racket. Anyway, here we all are. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Jules, thank you very much for joining this evening. Hello, lots of regular faces there to see you. So, we've got all sorts of questions for you this evening. Just thinking I will just start. I think I'm just going to dive right in. I think let's just start with an easy one because it's Sunday and it's hot. And let's just have a look. So one of the first things to talk about was somebody asked about lumps with face gua sha. I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting one. And just to say that before we start anything else, everything we tell you on this feed is not a substitute. Oh, Fidel, hello. You come to join us. Hello. Is not a substitute for Western medicine advice. Okay, so first of all, you must always consult a doctor before you do anything. I don't want anyone making themselves sick because they've seen me on Instagram and they decided to just basically bypass their doctor. Always talk to your doctor. Remember, all of the advice that we give you is about kind of stuff to do in addition to, okay? Because we're all about balancing the body, okay? So therefore, it stands to reason. Oh, sorry, darling. Stands to reason that most of the advice that we give you is actually totally okay to do alongside Western medicine because it's all really gentle, okay? So that's the first thing to say. And secondly, if you've got any kind of lumps after facial gua sha, well, the first thing is to kind of like, first of all, ask your doctor, okay? Because that's not right. Second of all, let's just start with a bit of facial gua sha, okay? And hello Walnuts, hello everybody, hello Jan, hi everyone. So here is your beauty restorer. Now the first thing to say is the reason why on the Hey You method we always start with kind of 6 strokes down your throat is because we're looking to clear the lymph, okay? That's what we're doing here. We're just clearing the lymph this way because you kind of got to clear the exits first and then you get sweeping all over your face, okay? And the other thing to say is go gently. I am a bit gung-ho, okay? I am. I can't help it. It's my nature, it's my energy, it's my body type. So I'm kind of pressing away going, yeah, you do this, and you do, okay? But when you're new to this, and don't forget, I've been gua shaing my skin for like 10 years. So I'm used to it and I'm just picking up like a toothbrush. You know how sometimes with a toothbrush, you just kind of give it a good old scrub. I'm kind of a bit like that. Katie Blake will show you basically all sorts of techniques. She's Katie_the Skin Whisperer. So just start gently with your crystal, okay? Just start super gently like this, just gently, and then build up slowly, okay? The great thing about the crystals is that once you've bought one, you've got it forever. You don't need to kind of buy another one, it doesn't run out. So you can afford to go gently with it, okay? So that is a bit of advice there on how to do your beauty restorer. So it's a lady just there asked about rosacea. And now rosacea is basically when you get kind of like the big red flushing. And the reason that's going on is because there's heat in the heart in Chinese medicine. And what's happening is normally because we're stressed. I mean, the thing is in modern living, I think it's only since lockdown that we've actually appreciated quite how stressed we all are, okay, and quite how much rushing around we all do. And I know we do, but it's nothing like not doing it at all. Like, and kind of realising quite how manic and hectic things have been for us kind of in our entire lifetimes. And that has an impact on the body. Our body is not designed to be as crazy and as manic as that. So what often happens is when the stress response is kicking in, which is when, the heart pumps the blood more quickly around the body for fight or flight, the liver gets involved, it starts putting glucose into the bloodstream, stress hormones coming in from the kidneys, the breathing gets more shallow, there's everything just gets stored into the muscles. This is what's going on like multiple times a day. And when this is manifesting as rosacea, it normally means that the heart is getting involved, okay? And the heart's getting hot because of its kinetic involvement in this process of just kind of like jung, 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 like this, okay? So what you need to do is, in this instance, don't gua sha over rosacea, just hold your crystal. It's a nice thick crystal. Hold it over the affected area like this. Wait for the crystal to start warming up. In the first instance, it's cool, so it takes the heat out because rosacea is hot. Then the crystal warms up. Jade is a very precious stone in Chinese medicine. It's more precious than gold, okay? Why? Because jade emits far infrared rays back into the cells and it heals the cells. That's what it's doing, okay? So you allow it to just warm and then you just turn the whole thing over and start again and keep doing it. If you really want mega effect, use 2, okay? And then this is where you need to get going into the body. So do my Qigong, do the meditation I do with you every day, and gua sha your chest. So use the crystal or the body restorer to get down to the heart, use your body oil, get into this area and gua sha the chest. You want to get the heat out of the heart before it gets flushing up into the face, okay? That's why we always recommend the chest is really good. Also, the rose quartz actually is really good for rosacea. Rosacea is very much a kind of condition associated to the heart, as is rose quartz. So the rose quartz is a particularly good one for that particular condition, okay? So that is a really, really useful thing to know about rosacea. And walnuts, much more as possible. I'd have to have a look at that, because the thing is, walnuts, don't forget that sometimes I'm giving you quite general advice, and you can eat cold and raw food in the summer, okay? And it slightly depends on the body type as well, but and how weak and sort of stuff your digestion is. But hay fever, that was another question that's come up today. So hay fever, very common at the moment. So what's going on with that? Well, hay fever, right. What's going on is that our bodies are stressed, and I can't emphasize that enough. Our bodies are so stressed that the thing is, most of the symptoms that are manifesting in modern illnesses are coming as a result of the stress response. And the stress response makes a lot of inflammation in the body. And inflammation heightens the levels of histamine inside the body. Not in everyone's case, but in the majority of cases. And I always recommend to people, when you're suffering from kind of histamine related things like allergies, which is very much where histamine's coming in, to follow a low histamine diet. It makes a massive difference, because there are foods which seem to be high in histamine, which are normally considered to be okay by normal dietary standards. This is things like nuts, tomatoes, strawberries, smoked salmon, cheddar cheese. I mean, this is stuff we eat, right? And things we buy things once a week and it sits in the fridge for a bit and we kind of eat it. Well, actually, these things are no-nos if you're following a low histamine program, and you need to eat everything like super fresh, super local, nothing smoked, nothing in vinegars, nothing that's hard. So, you know, you can eat soft goat's cheese but not hard cheddar cheese, for example. You can have fresh salmon, but you can't have smoked salmon. And it's these little kind of adjustments to, you know, you can't have pine nuts on your salad. You can't have beetroot in your salad that's been steeped in vinegar. And it makes a difference, because foods which are high in histamine means that the histamine comes into the body, and then the body kind of like has even more inflammation. That's what's going on. And when we come to pollen, it also triggers kind of the inflammatory response, because it's just yet another thing coming into the body, and the body is overloaded, okay? Now, again, this isn't an alternative to Western medicine advice. This is just putting the pieces together and looking holistically at what's happening. So we need to get the stress response under control, and it would be wise, as a precaution, to really have a look at low histamine programs and to just try it for a couple of weeks and see if it helps, because it normally does. And on top of which, we need to get that stress response under control. Now, this is where the Heiyu method comes in, because the idea of the Heiyu method is to basically work with the body. We need to reduce inflammation, okay? Because it's the inflammation that's creating the high levels of histamine, okay? That's what gua sha does. So in this instance, back to my jam jar lid. So you can use oil on your chest, use oil around your middle, because a lot of these problems start in the digestive system and in the lungs, okay? So you want to basically take the gua sha around, if this is your spine, around your sides. It's the daimai here. Let me just show you on SPF can earn his keep. So you want to basically start your gua sha around your back and take it around the front like this. Okay, so you can use your jam jar lid and you take it around to the front, And then you want to gua sha all over the lungs, okay? You want to go under the boobs, across the chest, over the back, okay? All of those areas, you want to really try and get that inflammation out of the body, and you need to get that histamine level, kind of all the inflammatory triggers down. And on top of which, of course, we need to meditate. Because what the meditation does is it takes everything right down. It really allows the body to go familiar into relaxed state. And anyone who's followed me on the meditations that I do every day, when we finish that exercise, we're all just kind of like, oh my God, you know. And I say to everyone at the end of that feed, that is what relaxation feels like. That feeling of just deep, deep relaxation. And it is possible via the breath. And the great thing about these techniques I talked to you about is that everything is achieved via the breath. You don't need anything, okay? They didn't have all this stuff in ancient China. They didn't have all this stuff in ancient anywhere. Basically, people lived simply, and they made tools and they used things in the land. That's why, you know, the remnants of what went on before us is kind of down in archaeological sites rather than, you know, landfills. I mean, what's going to happen in 2,000 years if we carry on like this? There really will be nothing left. So therefore, I'm urging you to use things like jam jar lids, okay? Because basically you can work on the chest area itself, down the throat, across the upper back, around the middle, and of course do the Qigong with me each morning and the lunchtime meditation. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to follow me doing the Qigong and the meditations, okay? That's why I do them every day. Everything I talk about is free, all right? Yes, there's products with the Hives method and they're all lovely and I'd love you to buy them, but the message is about how you can work with nothing, okay? Because in ancient China, people were poor, okay, and these techniques came from people working out how to navigate life when life was incredibly tough. And the Chinese masters themselves, they would go off to the mountains with nothing, okay, and they would heal themselves with breath. And that's why they use these exercises. They would go into a meditative state for hours and hours on end. And the only reason they did Qigong at all was to just stretch out their bodies. And something that I've learned along the way from doing a lot of the meditations that I do is that the more I do it, the more delicious I find the meditative state and the longer I want to go in. So like today, for example, I was very tired because we've been doing a lot of work and period pains. Period pains, I'll come to that. I'll do period pains, Jules. And I just basically, after the lunchtime meditation, I went off and I did another 2 hours of meditation after that. And you think, oh my God, 2 hours. But it was bliss. Absolute bliss. Felt amazing when I came out. I couldn't believe it was 2 hours. My kid's like, Mummy, where have you been? I totally missed lunch and everything. So no, it's definitely all about helping people. Yes, there is a brand and I have people that I employ and they need to be paid. But this message is free. And Jules and I sit here, you know, regularly, basically every morning and twice a week in the evenings to talk to you about this. Right, swollen ankles at the end of the day, and then I'm going to do period pain, okay? Swollen ankles is lymph. Basically, it's the kidney fact sheet because it means that the fluids of the body are going downwards. One of the best things to do is to lie on your back and elevate your feet up against the wall. That's the first thing to do. And of course, tapping is brilliant, and foot bathing. I just came back from a walk and I was a bit kind of grubby and I was a bit swollen up, and I immediately bathed my feet just in literally that sink. I mean, this is me bathing my feet like that. I had a flannel and I just kind of gave them a really good massage and a rub, and then I tapped my legs. Because I get a bit swollen at this time of year. It's getting hot and my body tends to swell up in the heat. And that really, really works. So let me just do period pain, shall I? So period pain. Okay, so period pain is a complete nightmare. And what's normally going on with the period is it's the liver. Okay, so the liver is involved when it comes to the menstrual cycle. The liver is basically the smooth flow of chi and blood around the body. So the heart pumps it, but the liver is all about like the kind of the osmotic flow. And again, it's often to do with the stress response. And one of the main reasons is because of school. And I know it's amazing that we're all educated now, especially as females. But you see, the female body isn't really designed to be kind of out all day long, like non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. It's not the mechanism. Because we have hormones, our bodies are doing this day by day, day by day. And when the period's coming in, it's quite volatile to start start with, because the body's like, oh my God, I'm trying to get to grips with it all. And then meanwhile, we're studying. Now, studying depletes the spleen. If we're working too hard, so we get up early, we go to school, we're chatting to our friends, we study, we deplete the spleen, the whole body is getting exhausted, okay? And what then happens is that the menstrual flow starts to hurt, because what's happening is there's too much heat inside the bodies being created by too much activity, too much kinetic heat, too much spleen deprivation because of excess studying and all the long hours that we're doing in the evenings as well. My kids are all, various different ages, and they're all at school. And, it's exhausting, the level of pressure on them. And what happens is this heat, the body needs to put it somewhere, okay? Let's go back to SPF. So here SPF is a woman, okay, or a teenage girl. And your liver is here, okay? This is my liver. And here is the uterus, okay? And here, down there, is the vagina, okay? So out it goes. And what happens is that this is base command, okay? Everything in the body goes on here. And what happens is there's too much heat inside the body, so the body puts the heat into the uterus because it's an empty space, okay? The body will put the heat anywhere to get rid of it, all right? And the body's dealing with the mechanisms of fertility and all the things. Back in the day, women would have been at home. Now, I am not suggesting for a minute we should be at home, of course not. But it's the price that we're paying for the world that we've inherited has been created by men. Okay, and I'm not man bashing, it's just a fact. And the state of the world has been created according to their body types. Their body types are different to ours. Their hormonal complexity is completely different to ours. Ours is ruled by the moon, and our hormones go up and down on a daily basis, and up and down according to the time of the day. We get more fatigued. Girls need to have a rest in the middle of the afternoon. Boys don't necessarily need that. Their energy is more yang. Our energy is more yin. And yet it's all equal. And it has to be equal because we are equal, but we are paying the price with our bodies. And therefore something has to be done, because the body will just whack this heat into the uterus, and it will literally, it's like it's giving birth. Okay? It's literally period pain is like those cramps. They are birth cramps, okay? I remember when I went into labour for the first time, I was like, oh, bloody Nora. I remember this. I remember crawling around the day of my French. I didn't get an A in my French A level because I had a period that day. I'm not joking. I was in so much pain, I couldn't concentrate on my exam. I had to sit there with a hot water bottle like this trying to work. It's impossible. I was in agony. But there we go. That's what it was. And those cramps is the body purging that heat out because it's dangerous, okay? So that's a really important thing about periods, all right? So therefore, what do we do? Okay, what do we do? Meditate. Meditate, 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 okay? It's the thing that's going to calm it down. I have begged my school to allow a beanbag area for the girls at all ages, okay? All children at all ages to be able to go and lie on beanbags and calm down the energies of the body and give themselves opportunities to relax the system, okay? Same thing with your son with alopecia, okay? We'll go into that in a second. But no, not the specific health issues, but the good news is we are getting these fact sheets, like slowly, but actually Jules is trying to find a +1 to help us so we can get these up for you, okay? So what do we do? Okay, gua sha, tapping, meditation, these are the things. So you do not gua sha when you've got the period pain, okay? What you've got to do is you've got to get that heat out before it becomes a problem, okay? Tapping the body, not ferociously hard. I know I'm a bit like gung-ho when I tap, because I'm whack, 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 whack. These are children, okay? My children use the tapper. Gently, 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 gently. It's prevention, not cure, okay? Prevention, not cure. So you need to basically ensure that the heat is coming out via the skin, that we're using this area down here. Jules, could you make a note to ask the master? And just ladies who were asking about their daughters, just can you direct message, or just can you put your names up tonight so that Jules, you grab their names please. I want to double check with the master about our girls, if they're menstruating and that they're as young as 10 but menstruating, are we allowed to use the body restorer on them? Because technically you probably shouldn't, but because they're menstruating they would kind of classify as more towards an adult, okay? So that is that is a thing to do, because what you want to do is get that heat. The uterus is down here in Our Lady Gardens. We need to get that energy, get it out via the skin, okay? And of course, meditate. We've got to learn to relax This is what's so important, okay? So that was that. Let me just do sleep, and then I'm going to go back into my notes, okay? Hives I'm coming to in a minute, because I'm going to talk about heat and itchy rashes and stuff in a second. Let me do sleep, okay? Sleep. Sleep's in my book. Sleep is a chapter in my book anyway, but let me talk about sleep. Please info about period for daughter. Okay, Jules, please just take the notes, and we will get to you. Jules kills me when I say that, because the whole of her Monday is spent writing personal emails to everyone. But we don't care, because we love our community, and this is what we're here to do, Jules. Never mind the rest of it. This is what we are here to do. We want to help people, okay? So, right, sleep. Right, the problem with sleep is, again, largely because our daytimes are so completely frenetic, okay? There is too much stress in our bodies. And let me just talk to you first about the process of sleep, okay? The process of sleep has a direct relationship with the process of wake. So let's just start where the problem arises. The first thing about sleep is that when you go to sleep, the blood, which in the daytime is on the exterior of our body, it's in yang mode, okay? The exterior of the body is when we're moving around, I'm in a little top, and I'm warm, okay? Because the blood, the blood is out on my body like this, okay? Right, now when I go to sleep, the opposite happens. The blood goes inside, it goes into the organs, it goes inside the body to nourish, here it goes inside the body to nourish the organs, okay? Because that's what sleep does. This is where the body repairs itself, right? So the problem with sleep is that because we are so stressed and we are rushing around with this stress response, multiple things are going wrong with that process, right? Problem number one is that in the fight or flight process, which is going on many times a day and not being executed correctly, you are supposed to run and move with the stress hormones, and we don't. The stress hormones are coming in visually, audibly, like we're typing, we're in traffic, it's like, I've got so much to do, oh my God, it's a blah, 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 blah. Right, that's the stress stuff going on, okay? Now, what happens is that the body goes into fight or flight because it thinks it's like, developed over millions of years, it thinks it's about to get attacked, it's not, okay? And we're sat at the desk. So the blood is going into the muscles, that's what happens, okay? That's the first thing. Now, often the blood gets stuck there, that's because we're not moving it properly, okay? The second problem is that the stress hormones are going into the blood. And the third problem is that the heart rate goes up and the breathing goes up. So the levels of oxygen go down, weirdly. And then the blood's becoming quite toxic by this point. You've got not great quality blood. Plus, the quality of blood is not that great because we're not breathing properly anyway, because not many people are doing Qigong, and we're not eating very well, even though we think we are. Food's travelled thousands of miles, and it's kind of, by the time it's got to our plate, it's nothing like what most people are claiming that it is. And even if that's assuming you can eat good food in the first place, which most people can't. You're supposed to eat local food that's ideally grown in your garden, or fresh that day from the local market. Many of us can really claim that that's actually what's happening. We get our food from Sainsbury's and it comes in once a week. So there we go. And what's happening is that all that is going into our blood supply, which means the blood supply is either stuck in the muscles, or if it's not stuck in the muscles, it's not that great in the first place. And then we're rushing around. If we're lucky, we watch an episode of Netflix, which can often be quite violent and quite traumatic. So we're looking at that. So the eyes go to the liver, and the liver's going, oh my God, it's observing violence. And remember, the body doesn't know it's the TV, okay? I know the brain does, but the body is just kind of assuming it's about to get attacked. So all of this stuff's going on. And finally, not to mention the rays from our phones, we finally go to bed. Either we conk out because we are so exhausted that we just pass out anyway, and then we wake up. Or we can't get to sleep at all. We're just restless. Okay, why? Why? Because the conversation that now ensues in your body is rather interesting. So we go to bed, we put the duvet on because because the exterior now gets a bit cold because the blood's going inwards. Now what happens? So the organs go, right, I'm ready for the blood, thanks. This is when you get drowsy. The blood starts to go inwards. Well, first problem, it's stuck in the muscles. So the blood can't move because it's stuck. That's restless, like fidget, okay, because the blood's trying to get out and you can't get it out. The second problem, if the blood is getting out of the muscles and into the organs are going, oh my God, not this blood. It's like, no thanks. I want I want oxygenated blood. I want healing sound blood. I want all that lovely feeling that I get after I've done the healing sounds in the morning and the laughter qigong. I want that kind of blood, thanks. Not this toxic nightmare and of course it's just rejecting it. So then what happens is either you're so exhausted you override it, but then what happens is the liver kicks in. The energy of the liver, or the energy of the body, moves into the liver at 1 a.m. And your liver is a massive organ, okay? It's all over here. It's like this whole of this side of his body, okay? Massive. And it's a really bossy organ. It's called the hun in Chinese, but it's got a little mallet and it goes around the body, bossing everything around. It's all about planning and organising, okay? And what it does is it goes, don't worry, folks, I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to clear all this blood up. What is going on this field? Or just like university, what is this? Is this the Eurovision Song Contest going on here? Whilst I'm going on and on about the blood. Anyway, so what the liver does, it goes, don't worry folks, I'm going to sort this all out. I'm going to get this blood cleaned up and sorted out. And of course the liver has a very, very strong energy. So it's a very dynamic organ. It's the organ of anger. It's the organ of movement. It's the organ of attack. So when you think, it's what spurs you on to do things. So in it goes, it gets busy, it gets bossy, and it wakes you up. And then, of course, at that time of night, you could literally do a day's work. You are so awake and you lie there, restless, until eventually when the liver has, I think we have gone global, Jules. And then the liver, Jules, what are you doing? I don't even know what you're talking about. Jules is probably doing a bloody competition for all I know, and on I go. Gastric acid. Jules, could you pick gastric acid up and we'll do an email on that one. Right. I've no idea what is going on. I'm going to just style this out. I'm going to keep talking about sleep because that's what I was asked to do. So, this is why you get woken up and you could literally run a marathon at that moment in time. Yeah, I know Jules, she does this on purpose because she knows I'm not watching. Anyway, so that, and then, of course, once the blood has been cleaned, then the sleep process can start, okay? And then, of course, the body goes into nice deep sleep, and guess what? Your alarm wakes you up, and then it all starts all over again. So I'm just getting itchy nose doing this. And it all starts all over again. And this is the problem, okay? I feel like I'm the subject. Keep going. Jules, what are you talking about? I don't want to know. I just feel like there's naughty ones. I bet Jan's involved in this. So there's naughty ones at the back of the class here, not paying attention. Anyway, that is the problem with you. What do we do? Okay, what you've got to do, gastric acid we're on. What you've got to do is you've got to reverse the problem in the daytime. Okay, this is why you've got to meditate and you've got to do qigong. First of all, you've got to know that this is the problem. Okay, and of course, the great solution of all is the tapper. This is why the tapper's so good, because the tapper rectifies the whole of the issue. Because if you tap and do that lovely rescue breath that's in the Hey You method, where you don't even need to go, oh, I bet it's Jan's fault. I know it's Jan. Jan's always involved in these things. Are you all drinking alcohol as well? I bet you all are. Anyway, you want to breathe it in. And if you do that lovely rescue breath down into the lower dantian and you breathe, you can also do the exit breath. Like this, you do that deep breathing, tap, 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 okay, for like 5-10 minutes all over the body before bedtime, and bathe your feet. It gets all of this mental energy down, 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 and use the bath crystals for this. I said to someone today, actually, on the Hey You feed, honestly, I think I might as well go and let Jules do this. What's the point of me being here, honestly? If you buy the bath salts, right, I actually said to a lady today, don't use them. Don't use them, just use them as smelling salts. Honestly, I think that is actually a really good idea. We should actually rebrand these completely. So don't bother putting them in the bath, they're too good. Just smell them before you go to bed. They are so blissful, honestly. Yeah, they do. But you know what? Can I just say that the bath salts were the very first thing I created. And I created them out of extreme pain, let me tell you, which is why they're so amazing. And they really, really hit the spot. My goodness me. Honestly, if you do some deep breathing with the bath salts. Jules, I can't believe you said not like either. Technically, they're all supposed to say the same. Right, anyway, there we go. So there's a bit of an intro about sleep. For those of you that were interested, for those of you that were just typing up where you all live, and some parallel conversation going on with Jules. Anyway, I'm just going to carry on anyway. Feel a bit left out of the conversation now. I've hurt my feelings. I'm not sure if I want to do any more feed now. Of course I do. Carry on talking about Chinese medicine, Katie. Let's keep going. Right, okay. I know, we did think about a pillow spray. But you know what, for now, before we start adding any more into the mix, just use the salts. They really work, and really wash your feet. I did it tonight. Just get a flannel, really kind of massage the feet, okay? But make sure you tap and make sure you breathe, okay? And that is really, really interesting, okay? So hopefully that's going to be helpful. And then let's just talk about hives, okay? And itchy, okay? Because itchy is a big thing. We've done quite a lot. So quite a lot of these things are going on with sleep. So we've got summer, sleep's always a problem, hay fever is a problem. And now we've done a bit about sort of heavy legs and stuff. And no, that would then kind of ruin it. But watch this space, because there might be some room things going on. We might be making room for something soon in the NPD department. All terribly exciting, but mum's the word. I'm sworn to secrecy. But in the meantime, just you just smell them, if nothing else. Okay, they will really, really help you. Right. Dry skin, cracked heels, you need to tap. That's easy. Tap and comb. That works really, really well for that. And let's go to itchy. Right, so I had to talk to the master about this. I wanted to make sure I got my facts straight. So, okay, just direct message, button lovely. Just send the questions in, okay? Jules is now starting to dedicate time every day to make sure we answer as many questions as we possibly can. So, right, itchy rash. Okay, so basically we've got quite a lot of people who kind of sort of talking about rashing and gua sha and summer sort of basically, and the benefits of tapping. And basically when you've got, so it's quite normal after gua sha to have a red rash. Look, I gua sha myself last night. Look, there is, can you see there particularly, just there. Okay, it's quite normal. That's because there's a whole load of shifts going on with my body this weekend. Fascinating stuff. I'll save that for another time. So basically, it's quite normal to feel a bit kind of almost not hurt, not pain, but like release, kind of kind of feeling. Okay, and that is normal. And like little marks like this, it's all normal. That was bright red last night, and then by like tomorrow that will have gone completely. Okay, and it can sometimes take up to kind of 4 or 5, sometimes 6 days. It slightly depends on the energy of the body. But basically, if there is a really red rash and it's kind of getting very, very red, then please limit kind of spicy foods, okay? Because we're dealing with heat, and spicy foods are not a very good idea when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. Mast cell histamine intolerance, there we go. So basically that's the mast, I'm going to talk about mast cells in a minute. So basically if the rash is really, really red, it means there's a bit too much damp in the body. And if it's itchy red, it means there's dampness with wind, okay? Now wind in the body is very much to do with the liver, okay? And the reason why it's very rashy is because the body is trying to expel the toxins out and the wind through the skin. Okay, so it's very important, basically, if you've got this kind of red, itchy, rashy kind of stuff going on, that we need to download the spleen fact sheet and make sure that you're really, really using all of the information that we're talking about, the spleen. And then there's a couple of extra things to just say, that it's always, especially at this time of year, because it's sunny in the evening now, it's all lovely and light, try and go for a meal. Apparently she's going to it again. What? Again, now you're laughing at me. Honestly, Jules, I can't keep up with what's going on here. Anyway, I'm just going to style it through and keep going. At this time of year, always try and have a little walk after you've eaten food, okay? The Chinese will always say it's very good for the spleen to just do 100 steps after each meal. And in the evening, it really is possible now to do that because it's sunny at night. So try and go for a walk after dinner because it's really, really good for you. Okay, it's really good for the spleen. Try not to go to bed much after 11 o'clock at night either, and always please do the qigong and oh, look at this, hang on a minute, I did my gua sha, my lady guard to help with cystitis today, and it went so red, but it felt so much better. Yes, I love it. First of all, hat Jules, we're calling it the lady garden, and she thought I was being really posh. I think that's a really nice term for what's going on down below, and thank you, it works, doesn't it? You see, just I know it will go really red, it will. That's okay. Right, so basically you want to make sure that if you're going red and itchy, you want to really work on the spleen. There's also another really useful thing. There's a point on your body which is called the 100 itches, okay? So if you get itchy, let me just show you. Let's get Oscar's willy out. Right, it's just, hang on, where am I? On the inside of the, it's just, hang on, there. It's an extra little point. This is the spleen channel here, and it's just about there, just off the spleen channel. So if you basically just go above your knee, you show you on me. Here, this is your knee here. You basically want to go sort of there. It's just there. So you can feel the bony bit there. and you want to just get in there with your gua sha or your comb, and that really, really helps, okay? So that is a really useful one for that. And then when we're going all the way to kind of hives and mast cells, Jules, I really wonder what you're talking about today. Let's get Oscar's Willie out. Honestly, this is pathetic. I know. Let's get Aaron to put up pictures of all of his extended family and see if we fancy any of them, shall we? Honestly. Right, mast cells. What are you like? Honestly, never known anything like it. Shoo-shoo. I call it the shoo-shoo. Right, mast cells. Basically, these are very important immune cells. And it's very important, basically, to ensure that you're working on the spleen. Basically, what, Katie? What? Why are you saying me? You're the one conducting conversations behind my back. Right, you have a question. What is the question? Keep it clean, please. I was about to talk about mast cells, but I shall wait. La la la, la la la, la la la. I cannot believe we're having a conversation about what we're calling it. I'm going to call it Lady Garden, guys, and it's my feed. You could call it what you like. Anyway, never mind you lot giggling in the back there. I am delighted. I'm just waiting for Jules's note to come through. I am delighted that I have a cystitis lady that took my advice and it worked. Well, of course I knew it was going to work, but I love the fact it happens. Right, it's not your fault. Jules used to go bonkers, but yeah, Jan, of course it is. Where to gua sha for snoring, which is dampness and energy stagnation. Right, I know they've all gone rogue and Jan's denying it wasn't me. Okay, Lady Garden is great. I'm going to come back to mast cells. Basically is extreme spleen, okay? So snoring, okay, snoring is dampness, again, and you see the dampness is going to come up in the summer heat because things get hotter and then things get kind of moister, okay? So basically you want to spleen fact sheet, everybody, and qigong and meditation, everybody, and gua sha around the middle, everybody, and then of course get to work and body gua sha or use your jam jar lid all over your chest and all over your throat. And actually beyond that, I don't know much more about snoring. In fact, Jules, could we just make a note and then I'll talk to the master about that one this week in my lesson with him, because I don't know more tips than that. But I would be basically also using the precision around the nose and also, right, blocked ears and tinnitus, that's an easy one. Blocked ears and tinnitus is all to do with the kidneys. Anything to do with the ears is kidney related. The kidneys look like your ears and the kidneys open to your ears. So if there's anything going on with your ears, it's because your kidneys are getting weak, probably because of the stress response. So one of the first things to do is massage your ears really well. Just took my earrings out. This is a really good one. Rose tea you can get on Amazon. Make sure it's organic, please. Really good to drink rose tea at this time of year. Right, ear massage. Hang on, let me just put my hair up for a sec. Hang on. Where's my thing gone? Sorry, if you saw what's going on behind me, it's a complete mess. Right, what have I done with my hair thing? There. Right. Welcome to ear massage. This is a good one. Right. This is really good. Everybody has kidney issues, to be honest, because we all are so stressed. So ear massage, oh my God, it's so nice. I'd forgotten how nice it is. Ear massage and foot bathing, okay, is really, really good for the kidneys. And of course, obviously, and massage in there. Oh, feels so nice. Really rub around the back. And then, of course, do the healing sounds. You've got to look after your kidneys, okay? I get my tea from Blends for Friends. We are going to launch some tea eventually, but we're not doing it quite yet because it's just, we had to get the brand out there first. One thing at a time. But for now, right, rub. So just to finish on the mast cells, then basically what that means is it just means it's everything that I was talking about, itchiness and inflammatory, but more. It means the spleen is even more kind of exhausted than it was before, and you've got to do more for the body. And by the time you've got mast cell stuff going on, it's starting in the spleen, but it's actually manifesting across every single organ of the body. And therefore, you've just got to do more. And I mean, basically, everybody... Is Katie wearing a crown? No, I'm not. I'm wearing a hairband. Honestly, that is because I haven't actually had time to wash my hair today. I was going to do it, but I was so deep in my 2-hour-long meditation, I forgot. So, basically, and it's the same for anything. Okay? The more severe the symptom, the more Do you know, I don't know how you order from Blends of Friends. I just emailed them and then they let me do it. The more you have to do, okay, so if you've got low level things, it's just like kind of bubbling along, then normally what will happen is the free stuff I'm giving you will do the trick, okay? The Qigong each morning, the meditation at lunchtime, and then a bit of gua sha and using the Hey You products will sort it out, okay? Because it's just simple. I showed this one today. So if this is a healthy body, imagine that is a healthy body, right? Then that is when you're not a little bit not very well. It's really easy to rectify that back to that. But if you're all the way out here, we've got to step you step by step by step by step. We've got to do more. And we have to expect and understand that it's not just a question of gua shaing your chest a bit every now and then to rectify the problems. And I should jolly well know, because I have suffered extremely bad health in my life over the years with different things. And every single thing has been a blessing of learning, because it's taken me deep into this journey of working out what the heck is going on, because my body wouldn't work with Western medicine, wouldn't respond to it, of course, typical, but Chinese medicine, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, but not even acupuncture. Like, clearly my fate was to become kind of expert in self-care, because every time I've kind of pursued it relentlessly, and Jules will back me up and say how relentless I'm, quite uncompromising about my levels of wanting to know. But you've got to go deep to find your point, your pivoting point of health, okay? And in my case, it's a really extreme all the way down the line. But the reason why is that I can stand here for you, putting it all together for you and going, this is what you do, because it works. I know it jolly well works, I've done it on myself, and it really, really does. So it's really simple, right? You start with the free stuff because it's here and I'm happy to help you, and that's what I'd like to do, and I really love doing it, and so does Jules, despite the fact she moans about it. She never moans about you, she moans about me, but she loves her ladies. So here we are every day talking to you about everything we can. Right, so you do the Hey You method, okay? You reset the body with Qigong and with the tapper if you haven't got much time. You restore the body with the body restore and the beauty restorers, and you use your comb for your wobbly bits. And then you rescue the body with the breathing, ideally with the meditation. I know you're not moaning, Jules. I know. Jules moans to me about me. She doesn't ever moan about the feeds or a lovely community. It's this relentless energy that Jules has to deal with all day, every day for five solid years. Anyway, the point is that this is why the Hey You method is the Hey You method. It's a really simple way for you to hopefully get the building blocks in place for the basics, and hopefully that will do the trick. But if you need a bit more information, we've got the book and we've got the fact sheets. And if you need a bit more assistance over and above what we're doing with you for free, that's why we say please do the 12 Rivers with Aaron, okay? And then Jules, please put Aaron's hook up. So basically do follow him on Instagram, because he will take you to the next level. And then once you've done the 12 rivers, there's another level beyond that. And then beyond that, there's another level. And eventually you will find the tipping point for your body, okay? And it makes a massive difference. You only need to look at the customer feedback that we've had from our own method and the people doing Aaron at the same time. And it's made a massive, massive plan. Jules, please write down the austerity plans for people. Jules got really cross with me today about, you can't start sending that stuff out. I jolly well can, okay? This is not like a diet, okay? This is just me giving you some basic, like week program, which is just to get everything back into balance, because it's about a balancing point, okay? Because what happens is when we've all been in lockdown, we've been at home quite a lot, a few too many glasses of Chardonnay, a few too many Pringles, a few too many mini eggs, and our bodies need to we just need to be sort of strict for a few days, just a bit plain, not even strict, plain, okay, Jules? The plan of the program is plain. It's about using your breath. It's about doing Qigong. It's about shrinking the portions just a little bit, because we're just going simple for a few days, because we probably slightly pushed the boat out for a few weeks, and therefore the body needs to go back. And something that I learned when I was studying with monks when I was in China was that they eat really, really simply, okay? They do a lot of like chanting, and they do a lot of breathing, and they do a lot of kind of simple actions around kind of like, looking after the monastery, and they drink a lot of tea. Oh boy, they drink a lot of tea. But their meals are simple. They are local, fresh food, which is, not too much protein, a lot of vegetable, things which are locally produced, i.e. they're growing them themselves, and it's simple food. So all I've done is I've just put that learning into my own life, and it's a program that I follow for myself, because I am in Western society. I'm very lucky. I have a very nice life thanks to my husband, and sometimes there's just too many things going on in my life, and there's too many meals out, too many glasses of wine. It all goes a bit too much like that, and then my body in turn goes like that, and then I have to put the austerity plan in place, which basically clips it back down again. And it's just about just kind of of understanding the ebb and flow of our life. It's not a diet, okay? I would like to make clear about that. It's not called a diet, it's a plan, and all it does is it just kind of gives you a little structure of something to follow, where you're eating 3 meals a day and you're breathing 3 times a day and you're doing qigong and you're basically just working. Okay, the austerity plan is coming, okay? It's right there. I've sent it to the team. They've got it all ready to go, okay? So it's coming. So it's all fine. So that was that. Right, so actually there was a lady talking about eating disorders, which I don't really want to go into on this feed, because eating disorders basically is a massive minefield, and it's something that I would have to talk about at length, and this isn't really the platform to do it. But Jules, if you could, I've got the lady's name here, and maybe I could just help her one-to-one. But basically, can I just say, eating disorders and austerity plans are not the same thing at all. This is why I talked to Jasmine on Wednesday or Tuesday night, just gone, because this whole thing about diet and exercise, okay, is just a complete nightmare, and it's a big myth, okay, and it doesn't actually work half the time. This is about balance, okay? My austerity plan is about balance. The only reason anyone needs it is largely because at some other moment in our lives we've just kind of had a little bit too much, because in the West we have a lot of access to everything. In the old days, people didn't used to get food half the time, okay? That was austerity. There would just be natural periods in the year where there wasn't that much food around, and so you would naturally just have austerity around you. We don't have that anymore, so we have to kind of bring little plans in, okay? So that's what that is. There we go. And this is all about balance, and especially for women, actually. I know there is men in this audience as well, but the kind of yang exercises which are out there in the gyms and that's very much aimed at the male body, okay? But the female body, we are much better with the gentler exercises like the qigong that we do each morning. And what I recommend, and what's in my plan, is that you do the breathing with me, you do the meditation, you do the qigong, and you just do your 10,000 steps. Okay, that your body is just designed to move all day, and it wants to, not like powering out and like going nuts and nuts and nuts. No, just build the qigong one marble at a time. Hang on, I've got more marbles, folks. Ta-da! Look, this is what we want. Okay, this is how we want our bodies to be every day. You get a marble for a qigong. You get right, in it goes. You get a marble for meditation. In it goes. Okay, and this is in our austerity plan. The austerity plan. There's a huge amount of marbles going on, okay, when you're doing meditation, qigong, you've done your 10,000 steps, okay, because it's not about sacrificing, getting up at 5 in the morning and like running for 15 miles in the gym. Our bodies are basically designed to do qigong and to move throughout the day, okay, and there is more dynamic qigong, which we're going to be bringing out very soon, but it's very much tempered with the gentle stuff, okay, so that's that. Right, cold sores came up this week. Jules is fine, it's rocket science. It's me just basically just saying eat local foods, eat sensibly, eat in season, and just be a little bit boring, basically. It's only a week, okay? It's basically just to help us when we've all been slightly overdoing it, okay? So, right, there we go. Right, cold sores, which have come up, is an imbalance of heart, spleen, stomach, and kidney, okay? And there's kind of 3 kind of definitions as to whether they're coming from heat, which has largely been created by the stress response, and kidney deficiency or spleen deficiency. So basically, if I were you, normally most people that we're dealing with have all of them. So I would recommend that you download the spleen and the kidney fact sheet and have a good look at that. And also have a look at the immunity fact sheet until we can get the eat in season. Right, let's go. Right, exactly. Right. Eat in season and not too much chocolate. Thank you, Jules. There we go. And not too much Chardonnay either. That is basically the plan. There is no chocolate on this austerity plan, okay? It's basically just fish and vegetables and a bit of bread and loads of tea and loads of breathing exercises. So it's not rocket science, but it's just helpful, I find, to just have it written down. It's my plan, okay? I'm not making any money out of it. I'm just giving it away. If you don't want it, that's absolutely fine, okay? Oh my God, now look at us. What kind of chocolate? Organic chocolate. Okay. Nobody wants the plan. Nobody needs the plan. What do you mean, Jules? They don't have to have it. All right, Jules, you can write your own plan. I'm going to caveat the plan with Jules' plan, okay? Saying Jules says that you don't need this plan, okay? Right, I've actually got through all of the questions. So there. So you've actually managed to do it. Is there any more questions, Jules, that you want me to talk about? Or have I now just completely distracted? Everybody wants the plan. Okay, I'm going to be sending the plan out tomorrow. Can I just say it does not have Jules's blessing? She's going to be really cross with me. But can I tell you that it works, okay? And that's all we need to know. Okay, it works. And I know you want the plan. Everybody wants the plan. Nobody wants the plan. Now they know there's no chocolates. Look, this is what you look like at the end of the plan. I put SPF on the plan. Green and black tea is then, okay. Look, the point about the plan is it's basically just taking things down to a very, very, really basic level. It's just about, it's common sense, guys, okay? It's basically about, it's not rocket science, and I've learned this one over the years, okay? You need to just literally, you just need to calm everything down, okay? And you just need to, you do need to portion control, okay? It's not rocket science. This is not about some austere thing. It's not a diet. It's just about looking at the fact that if you've just excessed a little bit, and things, it doesn't take much for it to go a bit off balance. You just need to just bring it back in again, okay? So what we do on the plan is we do the Qigong and we do the meditation and we do the 10,000 steps, okay? Keep the body moving, and you do the tapper and you do your body combing, okay? And then all I do is I basically take out the sneaky little coffees, and I don't have those, and I just drink really good quality green tea. And there's a whole feed on IGTV with me standing there with a teapot showing you how to make good quality tea. Drink good, not a tea bag slopping about. That is not tea. Good quality green tea, okay? When I was with these monks, they really took a time and attention on their tea, okay? And then all I do is I recommend that you have the oat cake for breakfast. Again, it's filmed, okay? Really good for you, Jules, very healthy. And if you haven't got time to make an oat cake, just go and get really good quality sourdough bread, like really, really good quality, fresh, okay? Everything, fresh. Nothing that's been sat in the fridge. Really good quality, one slice, okay? Not too much, and a nice cup of tea, and take your time, chew your food, savour your food, relax when you're eating food. So far, Jules is okay. This is this isn't anything scary. I've just said, get up in the morning, do the Qigong, have a nice pot of tea, have a nice piece of sourdough bread, toast it, relax, eat it slowly, or have the oat cake, eat it slowly, and then move your body around. And then basically, over the lunch times, you can either have kind of green vegetables, like 3 times a week, including avocado. You can have fruit, which is 2 lunches a week, so that takes you to 5. And then the other 2, one would be salmon, and the other one would be cottage cheese or burrata or something like that. And if you are a vegetarian, then obviously you can have burrata instead, or more avocado. So those are your lunches. And then your evening is basically any kind of like lean protein, if you eat meat, and followed with some locally sourced green vegetables, okay? So just like whatever vegetables in season, okay? And that's basically it. Okay, it's not like some crazy thing, Jules, okay? All it is just about making us mindful of the stomach is this big. It's just the size of a fist. This is the stomach, okay? It's here, okay? That's all it is. And if we're eating a massive great plate of food like this, it's too much food. And even though it doesn't look like much, so put it in a bowl, eat with chopsticks. This is all in the book, okay, this kind of information. And just make the food really simple, okay? Don't over adorn it with sauces and dressings, and just keep it super simple. Exactly, local asparagus. This is what I'm talking. The recipe for the oat cake is on the Instagram feed. I'm standing there with this big oat cake, okay? It's on IGTV. I'm literally holding a kind of a brown oat cake thing. It looks like a giant flapjack. It's really good. And that's it, okay? It's not rocket science, but what it's not is a huge, great plate of food. It's not piles and piles and piles of vegetables. It's small portions, eaten slowly, savoured, very good quality food, fresh food, nothing kind of that's been sat in the fridge for ages. I'm not eating up people's leftovers. It's none of that. No pickies off your kids' plates. Okay? And you just do that for a week. And it really works, okay? So that is basically the plan. But I have written out see, Jules is relaxed now. She's okay about it. I've written it out onto a sheet, because I find it quite easy to just put the sheet up and then just go, right, what am I eating today? And then that's that. And I also find it when I'm in non-COVID, when I've got to do it, because sometimes I have to eat out quite a lot with my husband and things. And I just find it actually quite helpful for me, because it just means when I go to a restaurant, I'm not getting overwhelmed with choice and then thinking that I just go, right, this is what I can have. And then that's kind of the end of it. And it helps me kind of kind of navigate my way through it. And that's not to say that you stick to this for the rest of your life and I'm creating eating disorders. That's not the point of this. The point of the plan is when we've overdone it a bit because our lives are nice, that you just give yourself a week to go, do you know what, I'm just going to be a bit simple for the week. I'm just going to go back to my qigong and my walking and my breathing and my meditation and my combing and my tapping, and I'm just going to shrink my portions down just a little bit because my stomach is only this big. I'm going to really chew my food properly and I'm going to buy really fresh food and focus on my body. Okay, and that is kind of that. So on that note, that is probably enough. What else have we got? You severe rheumatoid arthritis. Oh, okay. You wouldn't be able to, right, okay. I can't gouache off for long periods. Okay, so basically, Kathy, when things are that bad, what you need to do is tapping is really good. So you can tap your joints beautifully. Tap, 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 tap. And just do it, have the tapper to hand. Have one in the living room, one in your bedroom, so that you can do a little bit of tapping frequently. Tap the soft bits of the joints like this, okay? And then you need to do the healing sounds with me, okay? The healing sounds, there's an IGTV about them. I do them every single day in the Qigong. And something that I was saying to the Hey You people today was that this lower abdomen on me, hang on, this bit there, has all, here, look, you can see it's podgy, okay? Now, why? Because I've had so many abdominal surgeries that it's basically got like it's like dead cells. The abdomen, let me just get Oscar and his willy out. So the abdomen here was sliced across, obviously, because I've had C-sections, and then I had fertility treatments, and then I had an appendicitis, and then I had to have a whole thing dealt with again because it was so bad. They wanted to do a hysterectomy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, slice. And of course, eventually, my poor body is in a complete mess down there. And I genuinely never thought I would be able to sort that out. I thought, okay, that's impossible. That's just like Yang Shen can't get that far. And yet, let me tell you, from doing the healing sounds every day and drumming this, because if you see me, I'm doing this a lot when we do the fact. And do you know what? I cannot believe it. I've had the weirdest weekend. I've slept. I've had a total healing crisis because. And look, the gua sha. You see? Look up the channels. Look at that. Oh my God, I can't believe I get my stomach out on Instagram TV. Sorry, I'm not Trini. You can see that there's this kind of pudginess there because of all the slicing. But look, there it was for all to see, all the way up. And that was because basically from doing the healing sounds and the tapping, it's starting to it's like probiotics of health, okay? And it's just going like this. It's quite brilliant. I couldn't believe it myself. I have sensation there for the first time in 10 years. And by the way, I did Qigong regularly. Like that's the reason what started this was that basically I thought when I do the Qigong each morning, or so I sort of did each morning, not exactly every morning, but when lockdown started, I thought, I'll just broadcast it out and we'll see what happens. And because I've been broadcasting it, I haven't missed a single day. I have done Qigong every single day now for however long we've been in lockdown, like 10 weeks. And as a result, I've relentlessly done it day in, day out. And I thought I did it before, but I didn't do it every day. I didn't. I probably did it 4 times a week, if I'm honest. But here I am, 7 days a week for 10 to 12 weeks, day in, day out. And suddenly it started to open up. So this is the whole marbles in the jar concept, okay? So this was my lower tummy, cracked and broken and empty and all a bit dead. And there was me before putting my marbles in, but they were never really going beyond, say, here. So I never got it sorted. So what you do is you're marbles, till eventually you will reach a day when suddenly there's enough marbles in your jar and there's enough strength in the body. And there it is. And you know, the low-level signs and symptoms are the things that you'll start to notice really quickly. Like, you know, you won't go to the loo quite as often in the night, or your energy levels feel a bit better, or your skin looks a bit better. So these things are the things that are going to make a real difference. There you go. You're beginning to engage. I tell you, 10 weeks since lockdown. C-sections are a complete nightmare, honestly. Do I take marbles of your... no. To be honest, this whole marbles in a jar thing was this kind of idea that I came up with last week. So I'm not even sure. I haven't really quite thought the whole thing through, really. But basically, put it this way. What I say to people is when you start this whole process, most of us are kind of broken and empty like this. And if you're doing stuff, you put the marbles in. Probably if you're having a really stressful time, no, I'd jolly well take them out. If you've not done Qigong and you've not done this, and you need to take the marbles back out again. Okay, stiff shoulders, tapping and gua sha. If you've got a partner, the body restorer on stiff shoulders is really good. So you want to gua sha like over, like that, over. And if you've got a partner. If you don't, then use the tapper, because the tapper is brilliant because you can reach. And that's what I love about it, because Mr. Brindle is not very forthcoming in gua showing my back, and lovely Katie, the skin whisperer, Jules just put her thing there just before we go, who's amazing. She normally does my treatments, but we're not allowed. So I have to go. I'm afraid the unicorn has rung. That is the end of the Sunday Night Live. I hope that was helpful. Jules is now going to kill me because I know a load of people want the plan, but the plan is a good plan. It's a healthy plan and it's all good. Jules will sort that all out for you. But I gave you the basics today. So if you wanted to start in the morning, green tea, really good quality stuff, no tea bags please, healthy, locally sourced food, best possible quality that you can get, small portions. Start with a nice, really nice sourdough toasty bread, okay, and keep your portions small, and you'll be off to the races. Okay, thank you all so much. Jules, as ever, thank you so much, my right hand woman. Jan, I don't know what you two are sniggering about in the back today, but there you all are. Team Katie Brindle, thank you so much. See you all in the morning for Qigong at 8 o'clock. Good night.